Hello, welcome to Terry Tuesday, baby.
That's it. It's Terry Tuesday.
Terry Tuesday, indeed. It was Jared and Tom Monday yesterday with those last two races over at Parks. We had Jared gave us that 11 horse that went off at some long odds, and then Jared, I think, and Tom and another were on that Manny Petty. So
that's right.
Hopefully you played some of those long shots and hit that nice double. It's the great thing about what we try to do here. We try to have a community where we welcome everybody's input. So if, like Jared, Tom, and Charles, and others, you have some picks that you like, please hit us up in the comments section and let us know. Obviously, we don't have all the answers. I wish I did have all the answers, Terry.
Yeah, be right. If I did, I wouldn't have to do anything else but play the horses.
Somebody who has a lot of answers, though, specifically on the data side of the business, is Craig Milkowski from Timeform and DRF. He was on our show last night. We had a pretty well-rounded conversation about sports, about some personal matters for him, as well as the data that he puts together. I literally could probably still be asking him questions, Terry, but if you're interested in knowing about the numbers and pace figures and stuff like that, Craig's definitely a guy you want to pay attention to. Check out the show last night on Horse Racing Radar TV. You can do while you're here, hit the subscribe button, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Horse Race Today. So when we have great guests, like we always do, you'll be ready to, and you'll know.
That's right. He was very informative. I liked it.
It was a lot of fun. One of the things I've kind of always tried to fight a little bit with was, what do those pace figures mean? And to find out that in his view, 1 point on the pace figures, 5 points on the pace figures equals one length. So that was interesting to know. Thanks, Mike, for the thumbs up on Facebook. We appreciate that. You're getting ready for, hey, hello, Charles. How are you this morning? Good afternoon, depending upon where you are. Terry, it's morning. Me, it's just right at it's still 11 o'clock out on the East Coast. They're just cracking into the afternoon. Are you ready to take our swings today, Terry, at Horseshoe Indianapolis?
Absolutely.
I didn't screw up and call it Indiana Grand, though I felt like
it. I'm no offense, but I like Indiana Grand better.
I'm not offended in any way, shape, or form, Terry. Now, if you told me you like Sean better, then I might be offended.
I just didn't want to offend the racetrack.
Well, just in case, right?
Yeah.
The first race is 1 mile, 70 yards. They've run 19 races so far at the Indianapolis Horseshoe track, 15 of which were won by speed. 4 went wire to wire. There's a pretty significant rail edge here. 2 and 3 almost play fair. You get a little bit of a bonus if you run through 4 through 7. And I don't know if there's been an 8 horse yet because there hasn't been a win out there yet. But in any case, the average field size is only 6.3. So that's why I wonder if there was an 8. You are going to start us off today with Copper King.
That's right. I like number 5, Copper King. He tried turf in his last race and wasn't very successful. Now he returns to the dirt where he should do very well. Number 3, Romped is my second pick. He won his last race at Horseshoe Indianapolis at today's distance, and a repeat performance would not be a surprise to me. And then number 1 is my third pick, Blue Ridge Traveler. He comes in from Oakland Park to try Horseshoe Indianapolis for the first time. The rail post is winning at a 27% clip, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. The trainer jockey combination the last 14 days has won 2 out of 3 starts, and they finished third in the other one. Then as my fourth pick, I like number 6, Full Call. He has early, yeah.
He has early,
yeah, I know. He has early speed and just won his last race at Belterra Park, receiving the highest RAS speed rating, tied with another horse. And the jockey in the last 7 days has won 3 out of 8 starts, a second and 2/3.
Well, Charles mentioned it's a nice card today at Horseshoe, but I hope it doesn't go to form, because if it goes to form, East Texas, good morning as well, Mike. If it goes to form, I could be in a little bit of trouble today. If you notice, our first picks are exactly the opposite, Terry. Same 4 horses, but just in reverse order.
Yeah.
I like the number 6 horse, Fulco, as my top choice. I know he ran at Belterra Park last time, but I don't know how much difference there is between Belterra and Horseshoe Indy. I imagine Horseshoe Indy is a little bit of an upgrade. But what's interesting to me was that comment. If you look at the comments, one whack. So the jockey cracked him once, tons the best. So that tells me the jockey didn't even ask for anything from this horse. And that was on the first race on regular dirt. And, it was I think it was at Indianapolis, if I look at that correctly. Blue Ridge Traveler, this one ships in from Oak Lawn Park. My second choice, the one horse. Did show some mid-race improvement last time out. And the only horse in the field that showed any kind of early race improvement. In fact, most everybody else regressed last time out. And this one gets to the 27% winning rail with the top early pace and late pace numbers. So kind of confusing to me why I didn't make him first. Number 3, Romped, won his last at the distance. The last time he ran the distance, track, and surface. Did show some regression in his last race in the first half, but did make some major late pace gains. And Copper King, your first pick, my fourth pick. I think this one could be better in his second start off the bench. In the money, 9 of 12 at the distance. And last night when we were talking to Craig, looking at the pace numbers, expect the 4 to win. In race 1, drops in class. So we neither one of us have the 4, Terry.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It always works like that. Yesterday, neither one of us had the 11, and Jared had that one too, or Manny Petty.
That's right.
But one thing yesterday when we were talking to Craig, and he had mentioned, and when he was talking about looking for horses on the improve, he specifically mentioned the early pace numbers and not the late pace numbers. I meant to ask him, so I'll tweet at him and follow up on that. It was one of the questions I wanted to ask that I forgot to ask, was when you're looking for improvement, do you look more at the early pace numbers or the late pace numbers, or does it matter? So I'll check with him and see what he has to say on that.
All right.
Race 2 is the first of many 6 furlong races today. It's just a maiden claiming 62.5 for a purse of 13 grand. Maidens, fillies, and mares 3 years old and up. 6 furlongs on the Indiana dirt. They've run Tony Dorsett, 33 races, 26 won by Speed. Who is 26? I don't remember who 26 is. 8, Troy Aikman win wire to wire. I think one of the Preston brothers is 26 for the Cowboys. Slight rail penalty. The rest are mostly fair. My best bet of the day is number 7. Warris ran much better numbers in 6 furlongs on the mud last time out than in 5 furlongs on a fast track in the previous race. Was the favorite in that muddy race, and he did not finish first, but trainer Michael Elliott does bounce back at about 22%. You have the 7 as your second choice.
I do. I have the number 1, Kenzie Lou, as my first choice. She has been improving in each race and finished third versus similar in the last. And then, of course, one of my granddaughter's names is Mackenzie, and we call her Kenzie. Number 7, Awaris. She has run second in 2 races in a row versus similar, has the highest last speed rating, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then number 2, Moses Stephanie. She finished third versus tougher in her last race, drops in class today, and switches to a high percentage trainer. And then I like number 5, Neo Queen. She drops in class today, and the jockey in the last 7 days has a record of 19 starts, 5 wins, 2 seconds, and a third.
So I mentioned Warris is my number 1 best bet of the day at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Number 2, most definitely, is dropping in class in his 4-year-old debut and does have some strong works getting ready. Kenzie Lou, your granddaughter, significant 2 and 4 furlong improvement last race out. And at Indianapolis so far, 2 races with a pair of thirds. And then finally, number 5, Neo Queen. Debut had the top early pace numbers for this group before fading, so I'm expecting a little bit more in round number 2. Race number 3, Terry, is another 6 furlong race, claiming 25 grand. This one is for a 25 purse of 24 registered Indiana bred fillies and mares, 3 years old and up, that have not won 2 races. We already mentioned you got to be fast. So what do you think? Can't beat the 7 in race 2 on paper, says Charles B. And I hope that I agree with you. And I got the number 7 on today too. So if you want the number 7 shirt, make sure you head over to horseracingtoday.net, hit on that HRT gear, pick up a shirt or a hat, support us. Thank you. Anyway, Terry, what else do you like?
All right. I like in the third race, the number 7, Sweet Justice. She finished third versus tougher in her last race, receiving the highest last speed rating. And she drops in class today and has a trainer who wins 30% of the races when he brings a horse back to the third race after a layoff. Then I like number 2, American Rules, is my second choice. She finished second in her last race, has the highest last speed rating, and a trainer in the last 14 days who has won 4 out of 11 races. Then I like number 5 as my third pick, Just a Simple Girl. She did not like the mud in her last race, which was apparent. Drops in class today, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then number 4 is my fourth pick, Lashes. She took a 6-month break, and her first race back ran a good second. In the next race, she was on a muddy track and didn't take to it, but she drops in class today for this one.
I like Sweet Justice as well in race number 3. I'm going to go with the 7s today to match the shirt. Did run the best last race speed figure, dropping in class for this third start off the bench. And trainer Randy Klopp looks like he targets that third start because he wins at 30% of the time. Terry, am I echoing for you?
No.
Yeah, I'm echoing to myself. Do you have the speaker on or something? I don't know, because I can hear myself talking. It's kind of
no, I don't know.
Number 2, American Rules was a little better across the board in last race on a sloppy track. And on a sloppy track, ran better furlongs, better fractions at 6 furlongs versus 5 furlongs. Number 3, Tapping Into Summer, hasn't been close since winning her maiden 5 races ago. Going to drop to the lowest level of her career and showed a little bit of late pace improvement last time out. So maybe that puts some hope into the horse that it shows some improvement today. Number 6, Rianti won the maiden debut, ran competitively versus good competition in the next 2 starts, and then struggled. Went to the bench, coming back to make its 3-year-old debut, and has 31 furlongs of workouts getting ready. So no question, Rianti ought to be in good shape to go forward today. Race number 4, again, another 6 furlong affair today. Terry, as they're lighting up that 6 furlong number. This one is a maiden special weight, $36,000 for Indiana bred fillies and mares that are fillies that are 3 years old. And that's it. Take us through your picks.
Well, I like number 5, Gio's Baby Girl. She has finished second in 4 out of her 5 races during her career, and at Horseshoe Indianapolis. And she's eligible to improve in the second start after a layoff. And then number 3, ZZ's Reds, my second choice. She ran second versus similar in her last race, getting the highest last speed rating, and the trainer wins 25% of the time when bringing back a beaten favorite to race again. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and the trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 7 races. And then number 1 is my third pick, Signature Street. She has a decent workout on May 30th, may improve while returning to the dirt. And then number 4, Darnell, has a trainer in the last 14 days who's won 4 out of 11, a second, and 2/3.
So in race number 4, I was really contemplating making number 3 my best bet here too. ZZ's Red. The speed number in that last race was so much better than anybody else in this field. If she runs the same race as the last race, I don't know how anybody catches her. Everybody else will have to make such a huge leap to get up into there. Number 2, I Dare You to Dance, was well bet in the debut, going back to dirt sprint after running 1 mile on the turf after the dirt sprint. Had some okay works in between. The number 5, Gio's Baby Girl, has the best late pace numbers by a wide margin, though I don't think she'll be anywhere near the lead, and will pass all the faltering speed at the end. And then number 1, same exact story as number 2 for Anthony Granitz. Well bet debut, went off to the debut to a mile on the turf, come back to a sprint now. One of those 2, that angle might work. And that wraps up the first 4 races. Terry also cleans up the beginning, round 4, race 4. At 7 should run a competitive first race and asking the 7 horse in race 4. Well, neither one of us have the 7 horse, huh, Terry?
No, it's my 5th pick.
Charles is going to doom us today. He's going to play the role of Jared yesterday. Yep. So our hot dog pick 4s, Terry, look a little like this. Let me plug it up. Hot dog pick 4, starting in race 1. You're going to go 5 and then 2 all the way down. I'm going to go 4 in the first leg, then 2, I almost singled the 7 there too. I was contemplating that. Then 4, and then I'm going to single the 3 in the end. So I think, honestly, I think the last 3 races could go 7-7-3, or maybe if Charles is right, 7-7-7.
Yeah, it could be
Yes,
3 sevens, 21.
It would be like being at the casino at Horseshoe. You're hoping for those 3
It
sevens.
would be, yeah.
Absolutely, 100% for sure. So that brings us through our hot dog pick 4. You put $20 on it. I put 16 on mine. 50-cent pick 4 for the opening 4 races at Horseshoe Indianapolis, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see if my friend Sean did what I asked him to do today. If not, I'll have to have a little conversation with Sean on text. So last night we had on Craig Milkowski. Tonight we're going to have on apprentice jockey, who was the leading apprentice jockey at Turf Paradise, Hannah Leahy. That'll be on at 8 p.m. Eastern, right on our Horse Center show. So make sure you check in on that. Again, to make sure that you can do it, follow us on our social sites and hit the subscribe button and the bell on YouTube. Last night with ADC, we had a pretty lively discussion, too, after Craig left regarding horse racing, handicapping, the state of the sport, and all that kind of stuff. What did you think of that, Terry?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good show. It went on for like 70 minutes. And I like a lot of what Eddie C had to say. He has a lot of the same theories and thoughts that I have. So that makes it pretty good for me.
Makes it good for you that you and Eddie C agree?
That's right, because I don't know what his age is, but we're both from the old days. And like he says, if a horse pays 8-5, where are you going to get that kind of return on your money on 2 minutes? So,
well, it's kind of hard to do, that's for sure. Race number 5 is another 6 furlong. The maiden claiming 12,500 for a purse of 15 grand. Maiden's 3 years old and up. And then let's take a look at your picks here in race number 5, Terry, because this is your box it up. And that's where we take 4 horses, $1 exacta box, 10-cent superfecta box, 50-cent trifecta box. You like Yankee Mischief to start your race here.
that's right. I think this is a pretty wide open race. This horse has finished third versus similar on an all-weather track, and it was in the last race and got the highest last speed rating doing so. His early speed running style will help his chances, and he can improve at the shorter distance. And then number 3 is my second pick, Mr. Klein. He ran 4th in his debut race after being heavily bet. Drops in class today, and the trainer wins 60% of the time when going from a maiden to a maiden claiming race. Then number 5, Rounder, is my third pick. He closed at 5.5 furlongs, missed by 3.5 lengths, and stretches out now to 6 furlongs, which should help. And his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And then number 4, 52 Pickup. He switches to a high percentage winning trainer who wins 27% of the races when going from a route to a sprint and may improve by returning to a sprint.
All right, Terry. So Thomas says he can hear the echo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up your best bet right now, Terry.
Okay.
And then I'm going to kick myself out, and then I'm going to come back in. Hopefully that corrects that. So your best bet today is at Fort Erie. Let me bring that up on the screen for you, Terry. And then you will be, hold on a second. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm pressing the wrong button. Here we go. Let me pull you over here. And then let me do this. And then go like that. And that should be you. And now I'm going to kick myself out. I'll be back in a minute.
All right. Well, let me tell you that yesterday my best bet was at Thistledown. And it was in the 5th race. I liked West Side Girl, the number 6 horse, and she actually ran third, paying $2.80. But my second pick ran second, Passion in for Treasure, and paid $4 and $3.40. And my third pick, number 2, Sweet Queen Bee, won the race, paid $7.20, $3.40, $2.40. The exacta was $12.10, and the try was $27.70. So it's not too bad. Today I like at Fort Erie in the 5th race, number 4, Gimbala. She likes Fort Erie, having finished twice on the turf at today's distance, and has 2 bullet workouts in preparation for this race. And then number 6, Bernadette's Lady. She finished third on the turf in her last race at Fort Erie and likes the distance, finishing in the money. 7 out of 8 starts, winning 2 of those. Then number 2, Miss T Blonde. She finished third in her last race, closing for mid-pack, and has a regular rider, Nikki Alderson, in the irons, and she has a couple of decent workouts in preparation for this race. So if you got a chance and you like what you see, go and take a a win ticket on this, or do some exact, something like that.
All right. Hopefully I'm not echoing anymore. I hear a little one still. Thomas, do you still hear the echo? And most of it's gone in my ears, so that's, I think, at least a plus. For me in this race, Terry, I'm going to make this one my long shot in here in race number 5. Charles agrees with you pretty heavily on race number 5. He says he likes your box it up. I'm going to go, you don't hear him echo much on YouTube. See, I don't, before when I was talking, I could hear it in my ear. I don't hear it so much now. So I think going out and coming back in helped correct it. So for me, I'm going to go with the 2 horse here, El Cardinal, as my long shot here. This one's coming in from Gulfstream Park, so I consider that a class drop, or at least a track drop from Gulfstream Park. Did show some early pace in 2 of his 4 starts. Has a bullet workout at Indianapolis on May 31st, and it's going to get first-time Lasix. So got a bullet workout, showed some speed in the past, drops from Gulfstream Park, first-time Lasix, and you know how I like that early speed Lasix angle, Terry? I think this one is like 20-1 morning line, maybe. Number 7, Yankee Mischief. This one's dropping in class, coming off the top last race speed figure. Was in the money so far 4 out of 8 races, so 50% in the money. It's the highest hit rate for any horse in this field. The 3 horse, Mr. Klein, is the only maiden special weight to maiden claim dropper in the field. What's interesting to me, though, it was the 2-1 favorite in the debut. So it makes me really wonder why they're dropping Mr. Klein from a horse that cost $47,000, was the 2-1 betting favorite in its debut, and now it's in a 12-5 claimer in its second start. $47,000 down to 12.5 after being the betting favorite at maiden special weight 47. Something's a little fishy to me there, but clearly horse looks like as the only maiden special weight one that you have to put in there. And then number 9, Joe's calling. When Joe calls, you have to answer the phone. But it was a tough call over to 5 for me. But the first time starter who does have a strong workout pattern going into this race. Race number 6 is I'm glad the echo is completely gone. I don't sound crazy talking to myself. One of 2 races today, Terry, where you have a mile and a 16th on the turf. Optional claiming $40,000. Purse is $38,000. You have a lot of conditions for this race. I'm not going to get into all of them. So far, they've run 1 race at a mile and a 16th. It was won by a horse with tactical speed from the 2 or 3 post. This is your long shot with number 4.
That's right. And first of all, I want to say thanks to Charles for being supportive of my box it up. Anyway, I like as my long shot, number 4, Say Cheese. Now, she just likes to win. She's won her last 2 races at Vandu Park, and she has a couple of races at a major track, Gulfstream Park, where she won also. So to me, she can actually fit in with this class. I think she can compete with these horses. She's going to be 30-1 on the morning line. Number 12, Current Climate, is my second pick. She ran second on the dirt in her last race, and she's trying turf for the first time. But her dam has produced 1 turf winner, and she has a jockey in the last 7 days who's been in the money 8 out of 19 times, winning 5 of those. And then number 11, Miller's Maiden, is my third pick. She won her last race at Tampa Bay Downs on the turf, and the distance will not be a problem. And then number 9, Queen of the Green. She finished third in her last race, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best turf speed is fastest among today's starters.
Yes, indeed. Queen of the Green, my 4th pick. Terry's a pretty consistent horse, runs very consistently. I agree with you that the horse has won. Last time out, the horse did show some improvement across the first half mile of the race. That's my 4th choice. But before that, I have the 8 horse as my top selection, Go Big Green. This one did run the best speed figure last time out. Does get a weight break at Indianapolis. The horse has run 3 times on the turf, has a couple of seconds, a couple of thirds in there. Last time out, at a mile and a 16th on the turf at Indianapolis Grand, Horseshoe Indianapolis, was the betting favorite, but ran into all sorts of race issues. Number 11, Miller's Maiden, last time out, went wire to wire to get a win at 1 1/8 miles on the Tampa Bay Downs turf. And we know that track can be a little bit tiring, and does have a bullet work since. And then you have jockey Edgar Morales in the mount today. And Terry, he's winning at a ridiculous 27% so far.
Pretty cool.
That is pretty good. Number 1, Bumble of Love. Last race, absolutely horrible. So why would I put him in there? Well, at Indianapolis, he's run 4 times on the grass so far, won 3 of them, and is 2 for 2 at Indianapolis Grand at a mile and a 16th on the turf. So maybe it is a horse specifically for the 1 16th mile Indianapolis turf course. Race number 7 is another one of those, I think, 6 furlong races today. It is indeed allowance 38,000 for a purse of 38,000 for Indiana bred 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races. Terry, take us through your 4 picks here.
I like number 6 as my first pick, Tapadera. He won his debut race at Horseshoe Indianapolis and then finished 3rd in his last race, but he had lots of trouble in that race. Number 1 is Symbolo. He won his last race at Horseshoe Indianapolis, got the highest last speed rating, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Then number 8 is my 3rd pick, Scotty's on Edge. He finished in the money in both starts in his young career, including winning one of them, and then took an 8-month break, but has decent workouts and drops in class today. And then number 9 is my 4th pick, Malibu Classic. He ran 4th in his last race, is eligible to improve 3rd race after a layoff, and the jockey in the last 7 days has won 2 out of 8 starts.
So I'm going to start off in race number 7 with the 8 horse. I like Scotty's on Edge. Did win. Scotty won his debut at Indianapolis Grand, and then race 2 tried to go to a $100,000 non-graded stakes race. Ran competitively, but then went to the bench in September. And now we have the Eddie C angle. So Eddie C, since you like Eddie C so much, Terry, maybe you ought to put this one in your playbook.
Okay.
But Eddie C likes when a horse runs a bullet workout 2 bullets ago. So he's got a maintenance workout was his last workout, and the workout before that was a bullet workout. So that's the Eddie C angle there. I think Scotty's on Edge could come back and run like he did in the debut form at Indiana Grand. Number 1, Cibola did show a huge speed figure jump in the last race following a 9-month layoff. That was a 2nd career start. If he runs the same race, really the only horse in this field that has numbers that can compete up with that is Scotty's on Edge. But a lot of times when you see horses come off a long layoff, run a big number, they are candidates to bounce in the next race. Number 6, Tapadera, did have a tough start in his last at this level, was well bet, and we'll see if this is one that can also rebound to its debut form. And then finally, number 3, Remembering Him, 3rd start off a layoff. It's a 23% angle in 116 races this year for trainer Cipriano Contreras, which is well above his 16% overall rate. So that's an alpha angle for Mr. Cipriano Contreras. Does have some early speed, first time gelded, and has the 2nd best Indianapolis numbers on dirt. And because he's first time gelded, Terry, you know what he's going to do?
No, what's he going to do?
He's going to run angry.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Absolutely going to run angry today, right?
That's right.
I think both the try and exact in race 8 with the 1, 6, and 8 for Charles. So
we don't have any of those.
Oh, in race 8? No, we don't. Is that race 8? Oh, no, we don't have that. But in race 8 is another mile and a 16th on the turf, Terry. 2nd one in a row, as I mentioned. They've only had one so far, so pay attention to the first one. But you know what? When they don't have very many races, and we saw this yesterday at Parks, the 7.5 furlong race on turf and then the 1 mile race on turf, they had run, I don't know, like 5 or 6 of them so far, and all of them were won by closers. And then yesterday, 2 horses get to the front and they don't. So when there's a limited number of races, don't pay too much attention to the bias. Charles, I have to disagree with you and hope that you fall flat on your face in race number 8, because that's my box it up. Also closes up the late pick 4. But in my box it up, I'm going to start off with number 5, The Last Hurrah. Might be my last hurrah. But that guy has a decided early pace advantage over the rest of the field. A bullet workout on May 31st says this horse will be sharp and ready to roll in his 3rd start off the bench. Number 7, Habuaya. I'm not sure what that is pronounced correctly or not, but since I'm the official show pronunciator, it's absolute. This one is the flip side of the 5. It has the best late pace numbers by a decent margin. Stretching out for the first time for trainer John Langenmeyer. Got to like those people with the last name with Meyer in it. But he's won 3 out of 8 the first time a horse is taking a route. And turf winner as well. He's won 1 out of 2 with a strong work on May the 30th. Number 12, Zipsy Rose Lee. I'm looking for improvement in the second start off a layoff. Much better fractions last time out. And then finally, Mamala Kamamala is a maybe horse. Maybe the move to the turf is the answer compared to all the others. It's a reason for the horse to show some upside, whereas all of the other ones just seem to kind of be who they are. And I really couldn't find logical reasons for them to improve. So that's why I threw the 2 in here. How about you, Terry?
Well, I like number 5, Last Haraz. She's my first pick. She ran second versus similar in her last race, and she got the highest last speed rating doing that. Has a trainer who wins 33% of the time on the third race after a horse's layoff, and she has a good workout on May 31st. Then I like number 7, Habla. She is trying turf for the first time, but the trainer wins 50% of the time the first race on the grass, and she has a good workout on May 30th. And then number 12 is my third pick, Zipsy Rose Lee. Her best turf speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a decent workout the 24th of May. And then number 4, Kangaroo Talk. She closed to finish third in her last race on the turf and may catch them today.
I got good news for you, Terry.
Yep. I know Charles met the 7th
race number 7. We both have the 1, the 8, and the 6 in race number 7. So Charles, now instead of hoping you fall flat under that, I hope you hit it right out of the ballpark, baby. Dave Kingman swing. You know, one back in the old days, if you ever were at Wrigley Field when Dave Kingman was a baseball player for the Chicago Cubs. That guy would take giant swings, boy. And I can't tell you how many times you'd see him hit the buildings on the other side. So that's what I'm hoping you hit right there. One of those shots that leaves Wrigley and takes out a window across the street in one of those apartment buildings, Charles, in race number 7. Trying to close out pick 5 with 8 coming from Turfway in the last race. And that's in, we don't have the 8 there, unfortunately. I had that one next on my list. But it is the end of our pick 4s, Terry, for the day. And that is the prime rib pick 4. You spent every single dollar you could trying to get as many horses in as you can.
That's right. Baby, you got to do that. If I had a little more budget yesterday, I would have thrown in Jared's pick and also that 2 in that last race, and I would have hit that pick 4 for 5,000 plus.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda. You know what they say about if, right, Terry? It's the biggest word in the dictionary.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah, I do.
Yes. If I was only Elon Musk's son, I would be a billionaire. Maybe I would own Twitter too. But anyway, that's our late pick 4s, the prime rib pick 4s. I'm going to go 5, 4, 3, 3. I should have just went 2 to make a pyramid there at the end. Again, that's our full picks. And then the last race is race number 9. It's a 350-yard quarter horse race, Terry. But this one's actually a $34,000 overnight stakes race.
It is.
So it's actually got some good horses in here.
Yeah, and I really like quarter horses. You know, a lot of people don't care for them, especially if they're real big into thoroughbreds. But I like quarter horses; they're very exciting to me.
You just got to pick the ones that go straight. And you talk about doubling your money in a minute.
That's
if you get it right on quarter horses, you double your money in 12 seconds.
That's right. So, anyway, I like in this race as my first pick, which is my best bet of the day. Number 1. WRS Moonin the Wagon. He is a nose and a neck from winning 9 out of 9 career races, and he won the last 7 in a row. And then I like number 2, WRS Valentino. He has either been first or second in all of his career races and has 3 speed ratings above 100. Then number 9, Just Give Me a Kiss. He likes to close to win his race. Yeah, I know. He likes to close to win his races, and he has the benefit of being the outside post, which means he may not get in too much trouble. And then number 4, High Rolling Seas. He ran 6th in his last race after bobbling during that race, and a better start will make him very competitive in this race.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like the 1, the 2, the 4, and the 9. I like the 1. I don't have any reasons for them. I just ran through the numbers. They look like the fastest horses to me, and you got to always have the outside horse. So maybe you might want to think about the 8 horse as well if you're going to do these quarter horses. Those guys get the cleanest trips because they tend not to get bumped into like the ping pong balls in the pick 4 lottery, right?
Yep.
This card is tough today. Looking for prices 4 to 5 in the late pick 5. Yeah, like I said right up from the get go, I'm hoping that the day doesn't go to form, because if it goes to form, Rich is going to be in trouble. As I did go for a lot of prices today as well in my picks. So hopefully that'll be the case. Here again are our full picks. You can see them from race 1 through 9. My best bet is race number 2. Charles agrees that on paper, there's very difficult to beat that 7. So we probably just jinxed him, Charles. Terry's going to go to the other end of the card, number 1 in that 350-yard race. Terry's long shot is in race number 6 at 30 to 1. So Terry's taking a big price. Mine's in race number 5. I'm going 20 to 1. So big prices there. So Charles, we hope we rate like that. Paint Your Wagon horses do great job in these quarter horses races. And it seems like those horses with Jess in the name always do good in those quarter horses.
They do.
Races too.
That's good breeding.
Mm-hmm. And then on our box it up, Terry, you're going to do race number 5. I'm going, and Charles loves your box it up. Doesn't say a damn thing about mine. Thanks, Charles. But Terry's doing race 5. I'm doing race number 8. Our hot dog pick 4s from race 1, 2, 3, and 4 look like this. And then there are our prime rib pick 4s to close out the thoroughbred portion of the card for races 5, 6, 7, and 8. And again, we're both hoping Charles is correct, that there are some prices in there, Terry, and that we are on top of them.
That's right.
Absolutely, 100% for sure. So before we head up and out of here today, if you're going to bet Fort Erie today, then you might want to FanDuel. Yeah, it starts with
FanDuel. Yeah.
If you're going to do FanDuel down there by our good friend Tom Carley's neighborhood, head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description here at YouTube, also on Facebook. FanDuel is our free track of the day, and you'll see in race number 1, Pretty Lady 2 is the first choice in race number 1. Again, tonight, make sure you join Sean and I for Horse Center. Should be another good show with the apprentice jockey. Hannah Leahy should be a fun show as well. If you haven't, check out the Craig Mikowski show from last night. And then I think that wraps it up for today, Terry. Any final thoughts before we get up and out of here today and get working on the Belmont wagering guide?
As I always say, just, give your loved ones a hug and a kiss, and just stay positive. Have a great week. If you're playing the horses, I hope you win. If you're not, hope you win in everything in life you try. Thanks a lot, Charles, for being on board today. And hi, Tom, like you being here too. We'll see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Tomorrow we'll be doing Delaware Park, which feels like it's everybody's favorite. Terry and I will also do Thursday. We'll do Belmont to get ready for the weekend. Again, we're working on the Belmont wagering guide, so that should be pretty good. And then on Friday, Tom and I for Foreign Fridays, looks like we're going to do Eagle Farms in Australia. So we have some good luck sometimes in Australia. So whether you're doing Eagle Farms, whether you're doing FanDuel, you're doing Horseshoe Indianapolis, whether you're betting favorites or 20 to 1 or 30 to 1 long shots, Terry, we hope that your day ends up, as always, in our good friend Jay Marco's
Winner's Circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic Terry Tuesday.